Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to be looking at the move that we saw yesterday where it broke through 400, went up to like 410, 415, and then we saw a wick pretty far down back into the regression band. So if you guys like the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. We do have the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We are almost at 5,000 members. So I'm happy to have you guys here. Be sure to turn on click the bell icon as well to turn on notifications. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, we've been following Ethereum for a long time. And the idea of looking at these shifts in the market, right, are to be accumulating Ethereum, right, in the regression band, more or less. I mean, like in this region here, here, obviously this is hindsight, right? But we're using this type of analysis, which we have not refit in a long time. It was only fit to data up into this region or so. And to speculate, we speculated that, okay, well, we're looking at our quote unquote fair value of Ethereum, and we noticed, oh, well, we're back inside it again. So perhaps this is another really good time to accumulate. Basically, the idea that, if this is the trend that we're on, a fit to non-bubble data, then this gives us a little bit more guidance that it would seem that it would be more likely to go up into a speculative bubble, or at least continue on the regression band rather than say coming all the way back down here. Like those scary posts that you see where people say, the entire market is going to crash. We just use this to try to identify, okay, this seems like a fairly decent time to accumulate Ethereum. And we recognize that we don't know what the price will do in the short term. If you zoom in into this region, we recognize that. We say, if you're DCAing weekly, right? Like if you're going to DCA, which means dollar cost average every single week, then maybe you buy some here, maybe you buy some here. You don't get upset that you bought some earlier. If it goes down here, you just maybe continue your DCA. This is what I do. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just what I do. And then you continue on, right? Like you continue your DCA into these various regions like this. When it got down here, you say, what a bargain. This was insane that we even went that low. And then you continue on, right? You continue on with your DCA strategy that you've set forth that you're going to do to accumulate your Ethereum position for the next market cycle and preparing for whenever the next bubble is, right? We made a video a while ago talking about a potential $750 Ethereum sometime in maybe the next 12 to 18 months. We talked about that at an Ethereum valuation of $235 or so. 750 certainly seemed kind of absurd. At 230, starting to seem a little bit less absurd now that you can see how quickly the markets can change, right? I mean, they can change on a dime. It goes from all doom and gloom to, euphoria, FOMO, and then all of a sudden you have all the dumb money coming in. You'll see people saying, I have $100,000 just sitting. What coin should I put it in? And they just ask a random person on Reddit, and then they just start FOMOing and FOMOing into the market. So this is right. The purpose of this channel is we want to avoid this. It's to keep a level head. It's not to say, once you see every YouTube channel, one day if Ethereum is at 3,000, 4,000, and you see all the YouTube channels saying, oh, we're going to 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 30,000, etc. You kind of know, well, the party's probably close to being over. And when the market is down, and it's not really doing a whole lot that's that exciting, this is when you're DCAing right into the market if you're following this strategy. And when it's going into speculative bubbles, on the other hand, you're potentially selling some, right? It's like in these regions, you're potentially selling. Okay. Now the idea, right, with selling is and you may not be selling at these levels, right? It's based on what your risk tolerance is. I've told you guys several times what I do in terms of Ethereum, managing my position in Ethereum, and selling based on various risk levels associated with Ethereum. And it's no secret that the Ethereum risk was starting to really, move up the ladder there, right? I mean, the price was skyrocketing, the risk had to have been going up. So the thing is, right, is you get into these times where the Ethereum price, if we zoom in, as we've said, you know, this here is just business as usual, right? I mean, we were in the regression band, nothing really that amusing or important, and then we broke out of it and we started moving up really quickly. I mean, we moved from, once we got out of the regression band, we were around 350 or so, and then we moved to 400 within 2 days, and even crossed 400 up to like 415 or so. At the top, you can see it was around 415, 416 in that region. Now, everyone, I'm sure, is aware of what happened, right? I mean, we saw a huge short-term dump. And if we take a measured move from even the top, because it dumped from up here, down to the bottom, this was a 28% drop, 28% drop in a matter of seconds, really. So if you're new to crypto, congratulations. This is probably, you probably are not used to seeing 30% moves in about 5 seconds. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and grab a chair because the market cycle is likely just beginning, and these things are going to happen a lot. And this is why certain forms of trading are really risky if you're getting stopped out and liquidated, right? Because you're putting in positions that can easily, if there's like a hunt for shorts or a hunt for longs, this is where things can get really dicey, and that's why we don't really discuss that on this channel. Now, the question, right, is depending on what risk tolerance, right? I mean, who could have taken profits, right? Like, was there a way to take profits here? So that you're maximizing, so that you're ensuring that you're seeing some profits in the market on the off chance that Ethereum comes back down in the short term. And I can't tell you if Ethereum's going to go back down or not. I mean, it could just as easily come back up and continue on its journey, right? The idea is that we don't know what's going to happen. It's more or less a random walk in the short term, rather than something that is more deterministic. I would like to think that it's more deterministic over the long haul and that we're going to slowly trend up over the next several years. But again, there's always a chance that we don't. So the idea, right, is there a way? And to be honest, there are a lot of people who use the risk metric, and me too. And our strategy is, a moderate risk tolerance, and it worked out for the best. It worked out for the best because, we took profits in this region. And then it instantly dropped back down to a region where you could even essentially instantly buy back in and have 5 to 10% more Ethereum. It's all about having a strategy. Now, the thing is, right, is you don't have to buy back, right? If you take profits in this region, you don't have to buy back if it drops in the short term. As we've said before, it's... When you think about it, like you think about it as like the house, house is money. Like let's say you make a few grand on the trade, and then you see Ethereum drop, and then you instantly want to buy back in because you say, oh well, now I can increase my position. Well, you could also consider taking a step back and looking at the money. Okay, this is now money that could be in my bank account. How would I now allocate it to the market? Would I just throw it all into Ethereum the minute it drops? Or would I continue to dollar cost average systematically like I've been doing? Because we recognize that, this is an approach that at least over the long haul could be good. Not only in terms of, maintaining a level-headed approach, but also in terms of maintaining, some level of cognizance related to like taxation and looking to maybe not necessarily take like a 2 or 3% gain, but to take like a several $1,000 profit and then put that into the bank account potentially, and then continue on DCAing into the market. So there's obviously various strategies, and it really depends, right, on what your goals are. If your goal is to just accumulate more Ethereum, and then you sell Ethereum, and you see a wick down back into our regression band, right, which is where we were definite, or at least I was definitely buying, it can present a timely opportunity to get back in. But on the off chance that, we come back down further, right? Like if we continue to come back down, then, maybe you could even get in for cheaper. So this is all, of course, up to you in terms of what your strategies are. Now, if you're curious about the risk metric that I use that enabled me to take profits, because this did hit a level which I would take profits, then again, you can check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. And on that list, you'll get access to an alerts channel, which will tell you kind of like what I see going on in the market, where I kind of sit on these risk levels. You'll get access to a risk dashboard where you can see all the risk levels. I just posted. I got some people asking me like, "Oh, you didn't post a video." Well, I posted a 50-minute premium video today, or I guess I should say yesterday now, because it's now August 3rd my time. But I posted that video, and it was like a 50-minute video basically recapping a lot of the strategies and how we can use these strategies throughout the market cycle. And then we're going to continue to provide new content every week to the premium list that provides, a lot more value each and every week, so that you feel like, okay, you're getting something that's useful. So please check it out, intothecryptoverse.com. You can even pay for 12 months or 6 months. If you pay with 12 months, you get a 15% discount, which is a pretty good discount. So do check it out. I would love to have you join. And then in addition to the Telegram group and the risk dashboard, you get the weekly premium video and a weekly premium report. So do check it out. We also, I would like to point out, nothing really has changed, right? I mean, if you look at what Ethereum's been doing, right? If we kind of move a lot of this nonsense that I've drawn, yeah, this wick is scary, but what also is it called? I think many of you know what it's called because we've discussed it many times. It's just business as usual, right? I mean, this wick went from $415 down to $300 very quickly, right? Very, very quickly. And this, this presents a timely observation of having buy orders potentially set up. I mean, obviously I do move into the market every single week, depending on the risk level and coming in dynamically. But now that we're out of the risk band, or the regression band, I should say, you could consider, having buy orders lined up, down in these regions, just in case you see a wick, like this happen. Because if you knew that Ethereum was going to drop to, like, let's say 238 tomorrow and then come back up, you probably want to get in on that. And similar to Bitcoin, this is why I always say with Bitcoin, I always with Bitcoin, I always am talking about having these buys set up at the 200-week moving average, which I do. I mean, I always have buy orders for Bitcoin set up at the 200-week moving average. If we start moving down, I'll probably set some at the 300-week moving average just in case. But for now, I do have them set up at the 200-week moving average. And if you look here, if we remove this, and let's go ahead and add on that 20-week moving average so we can see it on the chart. So this is a daily time frame. Let's switch over to weekly. So you can see that Bitcoin is still pretty far above the 20-week moving average. So the 20-week moving average is currently at around 85.92. And we are currently about almost 30% higher than that. And what have we said all along for Ethereum, right? Well, we've said this all along. It's not a secret. It's that if Bitcoin is above the 20-week, right? Nothing new. Same thing. Sometimes I get people that tell me my content is too repetitive. My response is, this channel is not meant for your entertainment, right? I'm trying to make money, right? I mean, it's about making money in the markets. It's not just, hey, let's talk about crypto and let's talk about whatever news story is today, which, I mean, those things are good, but it's not the purpose of this channel. So the repetitiveness is more so to drive home a point that I think is important. And really, if the data doesn't change, like if it still suggests the same thing, why change the narrative? Just continue to talk about the narrative, watch the narrative play out how I said it was going to play out for a long time, and then you start to buy into the narrative a little bit more. So remember, the idea was if Bitcoin is above the 20-week moving average and is doing well, then there's a good chance that Ethereum will also do well and probably gain on Bitcoin. And this is exactly what we've seen. If you look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, in fact, exactly that has happened. Ethereum has been slowly climbing, and I'm not even really that slowly, against Bitcoin. And even though Bitcoin dropped from 12,000 to 11,000, Ethereum is already back up to 383. So if you take a measured move from, let's say, the peak that Ethereum got to the current price, which is 383, it's around a 7-8% drop down. If we go over to Bitcoin and just take a measured move from the top down, you can see it's a little more than an 8% move down. So it's slightly more, so you can see maybe around 8.5% at the present time, right, versus Ethereum's 7.91% compared from the top of the wick. And the reason why this is important is because the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio has continued to go up. So this is a really nice thing, because it's basically gaining value on Bitcoin. It started off the year at a valuation, not less than half, or about half of what it currently is against Bitcoin. Like, think about that. The valuation on January 6, 2020 was around 0.017, 0.016, and today it's 0.034. So it's gained on Bitcoin. It's gone up 2x against Bitcoin. And even during the crash, even though we saw that short-term 30% drop, Ethereum has actually nicely recovered. So, I really like to see this with Ethereum, to see it remaining strong against Bitcoin. Yeah, it dropped down, but it dropped down because Bitcoin dropped. And Bitcoin dropped like a rock. Ethereum's going to drop too, but it is pretty nicely recovered. We're right back to 383. Obviously Ethereum reserves the right to drop back down, and if we do drop back down, it's not all doom and gloom, right? It's just business as usual. It's just, okay, well, if nothing has changed, right, our sights are still ultimately set on lengthening cycles, right? I mean, maybe yours aren't, but mine are. And if that's true, if lengthening cycles again are the name of the game, then a move back into the regression band, what does it do? It just gives you time, it potentially just gives you longer to continue to accumulate Ethereum, because you see how quickly things can get out of hand. Like, who would have thought on March 12th or so, that when the price of Ethereum was less than $100, who would have thought that it would have been over $400, on April or on August 2nd? This is an incredible move in such a short period of time. So you see how quickly the sentiment in the market can change, right? You see if it can go up this quickly, it can also go down this quickly. So if there's a lot of new money in the market, a lot of new money coming in, they're not used to crypto, they're throwing in their money at, once it's breaking these local highs that it hasn't really seen in over 2 years, it is possible that this is, we're getting into that dumb money territory, right? So just keep this in mind. I don't, it's just business as usual. It'd be nice, right, to see Ethereum to continue to climb up. At the same time, as we've mentioned before, we don't expect anything to go, ultimately parabolic from here. Like, I don't expect a 10x from Ethereum anytime soon, right? I would think that there's a good chance that Ethereum could get to 30, over $3,000 to $4,000, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. So with that in mind, just, I would say stick to the plan. At least that's what I'm doing. It's not financial advice. I'm sticking to the plan. If the risk goes back down, if the price goes back down, it's just DCA, DCA, DCA. If the price goes up, it's just taking profits, right? And it's scaling it higher and higher as the price and risk go higher and higher. So I'm not claiming to be clairvoyant. I'm trying to tell you guys, it can go up, down, or sideways, and what's more important is how you react to it rather than what anyone's short-term price prediction is, in my opinion. With that said, I do think there's a good chance that Ethereum still over the next 12 to 18 months could see, another 2x from here. I think there's a decent chance that could happen. But I'm certainly not expecting it to go to $2,000 or $3,000 within the next 4 months or anything. So just keep this in mind. And remember, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is very important. I would say it's more important than the USD. And this to me is just looking really good. And if you go back, you can see where we are on our scale. Right? We were kind of we drew this a while back, kind of speculating. And this being our bear, like the bottom of the bottom to accumulate, and then coming back up, and you can see that we are. Let me draw a rectangle. You can see this is the level we're back at. We're back in those levels that we were in, back in January of 2019, February of 2019, and this was right before Bitcoin started moving. So remember, when Bitcoin makes the move to 20K, and when I say that, I mean not right now. Like if Bitcoin is like 14, 15, 16K, and then it starts rapidly approaching 20K, then Ethereum will likely bleed. If that happens tomorrow, if you see that happening tomorrow, which I don't think it would, but if it did, then the Ethereum ratio would probably start coming back down some. On the other hand, if Bitcoin remains bullish and it sits around 11K, maybe it even moves up to 12K, 13K, 14K slowly, then it would not surprise me in the very least to see Ethereum gaining against Bitcoin from here. And then whenever Bitcoin does make the move to 20K, then it comes back down, back into, say, the reaccumulation region against Bitcoin. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about it. Please subscribe to the channel. If you guys want access to the premium content, we do have that. Just go to intothecryptoverse.com. You can find a link to it in the description below. And from there, you'll get access to all the tools that I'm using to analyze the market. I shouldn't say all the tools. I don't have the TradingView stuff published yet. But you will get access to the risk dashboard, among the Telegram alert stuff and everything else. So please check it out, and you can always give it a try for a month. And if it's not your thing, you can cancel. And if you would like to pay up front for 6 or 12 months, you can get a pretty nice discount. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out the Telegram channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.